This car is gorgeous. Dan here, DD Speed Shop. 55 Chevrolet Nomad. Working on this for a little bit. We've been doing lots of 57 Chevy stuff, and as you can see, I changed the wheels and tires. So I had these hubcaps kicking around. I paid $1,000 for them. What can I say? Jackson got that 66 Chevy, and I really wanted the hubcaps, so I kept them. These are some black steel wheels. The backs were actually on it. I just kind of painted them. I think I'm gonna get them powder coated. The fronts are actually the factory, so they're 15.6 wide, 15.5 wide, whatever they were. They're narrow, and I scuffed them, painted them black. So I was fighting out wheels and tires on this thing, and I was originally thinking Kragers, and I mean, let's be honest, Kragers look good and everything. But steel wheels is just like, I love steel wheels. Like steel wheels and poverty caps on like a 70 Nova or like any of that stuff, it's just like magnifique. So I thought, well, so I started Googling it. I was like, try 5 Chevy with poverty caps. And they all kept coming back with Tri-5 Chevy style caps. I'm like, well, I gotta see what this looks like. So I painted the wheels, put a set of tires on them. And we're running 275 60s and I think 215 70s maybe in the front. And I love it. Now, what I don't love is how tall the back is. It looks kind of ugly. So today we're going to address this situation. Hopefully you guys like it as well. I gotta say, this car looks better in person than it does in the camera here today. I don't know what the deal is, but we'll stand over here. Oh yeah. So we gotta drop it. While dropping it, we have all of these bits and pieces. Now I'm not sure how this video is gonna work out. In the back, all we're gonna use is real simple 2-inch lowering blocks. People always ask. I get stuff for Camaro, first gen Camaro, I think. Oh, universal 2-inch block. There you go. That's all I use. 6100. That has blocks. It'll have U-bolts, everything we need. I got a bag of body bushings. I don't know if we're gonna use all of them, but hey, you know what? You can always use a bag of Tri-5 Chevy body bushings. We have done some floor repair. We do have to finish that off as well. Probably be a different video. Who knows? We'll see what we do. Maybe it might lower the back and then just do the front. I have tie rod ends because this one had been pulled on a tie rod end at some point, so they were not good. Now the real issue we have, well I have, is the brakes on this thing. Oh, hang on, sorry. Oh, I got one of these fancy battery chargers or battery booster packs. Let's see if it's any good. This thing has factory weirdo, come on, drum brake deal. They're like vacuum pressure, I don't know what it is. Anyways, it's hard. They don't work. The rebuild kit just for that master and everything is like $300 US, and apparently the brakes are still kind of so-so. So for, here's 1,000 or 900 or 700, I don't know. I bought a whole kit, which includes drop spindles, a power booster, everything we need is in there, and a set of front discs, bearings, the whole deal. All should be in these boxes, I'm hoping. So we're gonna drop this thing 2 inches around. So hopefully the back tires will be slightly like the front, and the fronts will just be kind of tucked. So still have a bit of a rake, which is what I like. And it'll be lowered a little, but not so much we'll lose any real drivability, right? And we're gonna have stock suspension other than just the spindle will be moved up, which will drop the car down. So the geometry and everything will remain the same. It'll just change the ride height. So that's kind of the plan there. We still have to weld up in the back here, which I may do. That's what we might have to do today, is lower the back. While the back is out, or going down with the obviously break all the U-bolts, the rear end will be free. I got a new fuel tank. So I'll show you when I'm in there, but Nomads, or wagons I should say, have a unique fuel tank which wraps around the spare tire well and in the way of the diff, and it's just terrible. So to get them out, you actually have to move the differential ahead to you know, get it out. So I'm going to drain all the fuel out of it. It looks like the gas gauge works and all those things, but again, this thing was in storage for who knows how long. I think a tank was $250. I got a brand new sender for it as well, because why wouldn't you? And then these are just shocks. OEM, whatever. Those are decent shocks. I think they were Monroe's I bought, but whatever. We're gonna put a new set of shocks around it and do the brakes. Everything we're doing is just nut and bolt stuff. So I have like night sweats where I wake up and I'm like, oh, I should turn this thing into a gasser. But I'm like, oh, it's way too nice. Oh, I should straight axle it. No, don't do it. Anyways, we're gonna get it all together and everything we're gonna do is just gonna be nut and bolt. So we're gonna break the spindles off. We'll take the whole spindle with the drum and everything and keep it all together. We'll take the master off, we'll keep everything. So we'll put that in like a little milk box or a crate. And down the road, if anybody wants to change it back, we absolutely can. Nothing that we're doing today is permanent or really going to affect the car negatively. And personally, I'm not against drum brakes in any way. I'm not against manual brakes. I'm not against power drum. I'm not even really against the single pot master cylinder. Maintained properly, they'll be fine. The issue I have is they're expensive. So these are ball bearing wheel bearings, and they're like $50 for one versus a set of, you know, tapered rollers. So that's kind of that. Same with drums. Drums themselves, they're like $100 a drum now. All that stuff all kind of adds up. So we'll put a set of discs on it, and we'll kind of go from there. And ultimately, I don't know if you can lowering spindles work with drums or not. This is a whole kit. It all goes together. And yeah, we'll go from there. Well, let's focus on the back. What I probably should do is jack the back up, pull the diff out, get the tank out, do all that, deal with the fumes, and then maybe while all that's removed, we should finish off the back floor and the back brace because they're no good, and finish doing a little bit of welding. I also got a brand new carpet kit, brown. So if we have all that in, we should be able to kind of start putting this thing back together. I do want this thing to go away shortly. As much as I love it, get it running and driving, do the brakes, do the interior, put a new carburetor on it, polish it, put it in storage, we'll deal with it in the spring. Let's get this thing up in the air and pull the wheels. Okay, we're up in the air. So actually the brakes and all that don't look bad. They actually have lots of meat in them. And they have been serviced at some point because factory Tri-5 stuff doesn't have these spring style clips. They have little, like these clips. And the drums, they have a little spring around them, so they're factory. We can measure them, see if they're any good. I do have a set of drums in the basement, I believe, and there's a diff outside, which I think was in my Nomad, I think. And it has, you know, wheel cylinders and all that, which is basically brand new. So we can change that out, no problemo. Now, I drained the old gasoline out. She was old. Now in here, you can see that's the fuel tank, and you can see the diff there. So it has to go forward and well, it has to go down, right? Back and down. But this right here is the tire well, and the top of the tank actually fits on top of the tire well. So the tank has to go forward before it can go down. Well, obviously it can't go forward because this is in the way. So all this junk has to come off. So luckily we're changing all the shocks and everything anyways, but actually might have to change or pull the drive shaft, pull the yoke, so we can get the diff quite a bit ahead. So I think that's gonna be the plan. Otherwise, everything in this thing is just so freaking original. Like all the wiring, all the little clips, you know, still has the thread-in fuel line. Every time I look at this car, I'm just always blown away. And then, I was looking here, there's just a little bit of rust. It's not through, it just was corrosion. Like, that's all factory panels. Factory panels, no seams. Everything is nice. Up in there. Oh, man. What a gorgeous car. It's had a little bit of road rash, but no rust holes. Dents here and there. Yeah. It has one little rust hole in there's a little brace here. but that gets packed full of stuff. So honestly, it needs is a hole drilled in it so we can get stuff out of it versus fixing it. And under here is going to be the ugliness. So we do have to fix this brace because it's non-existent. And unfortunately, it does travel. The rot goes past the frame, which means we'll have to fix it from the top. So all this floor will have to be cut out from the top, brace put in, welded, new pan on, you know, inner rockers on both sides. So that's going to be the challenge of this video. But first, let's change the fuel tank, put it in there. Man, the old gas was rank, but it still stinks in here. We'll pull the tank, put the new one in, get it all plumbed up. I don't know if I have new straps or if it comes with new straps. We'll just use the old ones if we have to, and plumb it all in there. We should be fine. I'll blow the line out or whatever, but honestly, there's a bunch of junk that came out of it. You probably could just use this tank other than it's original. It's got some dents in it, and I have a new one. So let's put it in there. Anyways, let's get to it. Shocks off, U-bolts out, U-joint undone, diff forward, and then we'll struggle with the tank. Should be fun. Okay, so we got this all taken care of, and it was a bugger. Whoever put the fuel tank in used lock nuts, a-hole. So we got the diff ahead, shocks are out, fuel lines are out. Now we get to struggle with this fuel tank. But hopefully it comes out easy because there's a bunch of people here watching. Oh, I didn't undo the filler.
No, that's embarrassing.
Well, it'll be fine. And there's exhaust on this thing? Maybe I should just leave the tank in, eh?
Watch your eyeballs of all that dirt, okay?
I got two of them. Well, I wouldn't say it's going well. Huh. I've never had to do this on a car with exhaust before. I'd really like to just get a bigger bar in here somehow. This may need more screwing around. We will be back shortly.
Okay.
So we got the tank out. All we needed was a bigger tool, which was a pry bar. So we got that. I got the new tank over here on the table of doom. And this is a brand new center. Man, everything is cheap junk now. These used to be coated. Now they don't look like they are anymore. And then the screws are friggin' Torx screws, which I hate. So this is a little rubber gasket. I thought I had some seal oil because this, again, always screws up. They leak. We're gonna have to kind of stick that in there. Just like that, or just like that, just like that. There we go. We'll put that on there. We'll put the hardware in. gentle. And I actually ordered a 3/8 line, and it turns out the car is 5/16. Low performance version, I guess. But we'll put it back in there. That box didn't come with straps though either, eh? Man, talk about like as cheap as they can possibly be, these guys. I've ordered this exact tank 3 times. It's like same part number. Shrinkflation is real. It's made in Canada. That's why it's junk. Look, it's got. All right, made in Canada. That's the problem. Made in America would have been better. Okay.
Wait, so do you think it was made in Canada, shipped to America, and then it got shipped back to Canada?
No, it came from Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Another problem.
Should be watching put the screws in?
No. I don't want people watching me screwing. I'm gonna level you. I jump slightly ahead. It's Saturday night, and we do a live stream on Saturday nights on Danny's channel, More Schmoo with Dee Dee Speech Up. Great name, I know she picked it. Anyways, we kind of went back and forth, and I just kind of kept working because I wanted to get some of the stuff done. So the tank is in. I don't really want to be under the thing, so I don't have the locks on it because I want to drop it down and show you. But the tank is in. You can see it. There's just 2 straps that went on it. And now if you can tell or not here, on the side, I just put those blocks. So simply all those blocks are is like a 2-inch spacer that lifts the rear end up. And that's pretty much it. But I do want to show you what that does now. Hopefully you guys have a better memory than I do. And you saw how much, where the thing sat. Hang on, run with my knee, that's pretty good. Where the tires sat with the suspension loaded. And I gotta say, I really like the way it looks now. Let me move this. Sorry, I'm doing too many things at once. Now, it is nose high. Oh, I need looking for that. But the rear end now fits much nicer. That kind of jaunts the suspension a little. Let's see how the wheel kind of fits the wheel well a little bit better. It's got that space all the way around it. Now, obviously, as it kind of settles, we put some fuel in it, people are in it, you know, all that stuff. It'll just, oh, it's gonna sit nice. It does sit maybe flat or level, or maybe even a little nose high, but again, I think a 2-inch drop will give it that rake, and I think it's gonna be perfect. Obviously, they sell 2-inch drop spindles for that exact reason. Now, you can, furthermore than this, if you want more low, they sell drop coils. You can have the leaf springs re-arced, all sorts of stuff like that. But I think this can be good for what we're doing, especially in a road trip. I learned that last year when we took the other Nomad. It sat higher than I wanted, empty. We have all our gear in there and spare tires and tools and all that sort of stuff. You lose like an inch or so. So we'll see. I might actually put a 1-inch drop in my car, my black Nomad, if we're not taking a road trip. But this is probably like road trip ready as far as I'm concerned. But that's what we're gonna do for tonight. Put this tank outside. It does smell like gasoline in here, so I don't want to carry on. Tomorrow we'll be cutting and welding. I think I'm gonna just try and go ahead and finish off the entire floor tomorrow. Just knock it out, get it done, get it painted, and put the carpet kit in, and then we'll have this thing with an interior in it, ready to go. Be a long day, but I got the day off. What else should I do with it? Might as well waste it on a Tri-5 Chevrolet. Thanks for watching. See you in the morning. New day. Today is gonna be the worst day on this whole car. So where we left it, obviously the wheels and tires were kind of just sitting on there. I still have the brakes apart. I have to do that in maybe the next video or two. But here's what we got to work on. And I've been been lazy. So back here we have the new rockers and all the braces. So here forward is done. Now back here, they did this on both sides where I don't know, this must be a replacement section here. So they use some sort of a, I don't know, self-tapper or nut and bolt to an angle which is riveted. So that's not good. And then obviously it's rotten. So what I'm hoping is I can cut that out, cut this out. We'll kind of fold this up a little, because this looks like a homemade piece. I assume it's joined. Well, I guess we'll see when we get in there. Hang on, maybe we can see right now. Oh yeah, it's had the lower sections we put on here down. There's filler up. They did on the inside too, which is kind of crazy. Let's see up in there. That's kind of cool. Someone better than myself did that repair. So if I can get that out, and then we can get the inner rocker, secured to that. Unfortunately, all this undercoating is so awful to grind. It just turns into like hot rubber blowing in your face, which is not fun, but we'll get a grinding stone out, get all that out, and we can get that in, get it welded. The real issue is this. So there's a brace that runs the whole way across the car, and it's clearly rotten away to absolutely nothing. And we have a hole in the floor right up in there, which isn't the end of the world. The crappy part is this brace gets full of junk from the tire, obviously, I mean, it's right there, and it's rotten all the way over, and it's actually rotten above the frame. So we have to go we're going to have to repair it from the top, I believe, which is going to be terrible, because we have to cut all this floor is actually in good shape on the car, and I think right there is where the seat brace is. So where the back seat bolts to. So that has to come out. We got to cut a bunch of good flooring out, which we can maybe just reuse. If I cut kind of wide, if I cut it out big, take the whole piece out. Yeah, if I can do that. Then I'll take the brace off, at least use it as a pattern maybe, and we'll put it back in. Again, it's not that important. It is under the back seat, so it'll be fine, it'll be strong, and no one's ever gonna notice. And really, this brace of all will be nice to have back in there. And then obviously it's secure. It wasn't even welded, or maybe it's rotten away, but it secures to the inner rocker. Just gives it all that strength back. So that works out pretty good. And then I do have to do on both sides, but look how nice this looks. I don't know if I show this off a whole lot, but I am pretty proud of that. I have to finish welding in these braces. They're not locked into the rocker, and actually I do have to weld a little patch in there. Maybe let's leave it open. We can a window. So we gotta get that taken care of, but then we can kind of brace it up. But it's all sitting on the bushings, so that's where it's supposed to be. Everything worked out pretty good there. I'm actually really happy with that repair. It was a lot of work, and I'm sure I was a lot frustrated with it because it was terrible to do, but it is quite nice. And actually now as I'm looking at it, hang on here, you can see the rocker here, and it does drop down. So really, if I just push that up, we'll make it in line with the rest of the inner rocker. It'll line in, and we should be fine. Hopefully we won't crack any paint or whatever, but that's really a real worry. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. So I'm just gonna start cutting and grinding. It's gonna be ugly and hard to get in there with the camera, so you'll have to trust me that it sucks. That was fun. So, all the tools of the trade. I've got everything kind of sliced and diced out. Everything looks good in there. Nothing too crazy. A little surface rust, no big deal. Got one vice grip holding it to the old rocker. And then I put this, it actually needed very little love. So we ground down the top there. Ugh, it was so terrible. This is the panel. Yeah. So this is just our little inner rocker. Punch some holes in the top. Punch some holes in the bottom, punch a couple holes in the back. Realistically, I think the floor is supposed to be welded to the rocker top down, but we're not doing that because the floor isn't going to come out. But just kind of slide her up in there, something along those lines. It's pretty good. We should be able to, well, actually might have to come down a little even, but oh, maybe that's just that. So we'll have to plug it in the top. Seam weld the side, and then at the back there's a couple of plug welds. We'll get that all kind of taken care of. We should be good. Obviously there's no floor at the back there, so that's where the floor will have to come in, and then whether we weld it from the top or the bottom, depending on where it is, it's kind of relevant. We'll slide the floor in there, and then that'll all be seam sealed and undercoated. So I'm going to set the welder up. I'm going to do that. I'll probably just carry on and finish welding whatever we have to do back here, and we may even get this little patch, and there's a little rectangle needs to be kind of welded in. I don't know what I should do there, if I should drill a few more holes. I mean, the factory has these little vent things in it, but I'm almost wondering, like, This is too big, don't get me wrong, but a few good sized holes in there is probably for the best. Let the stuff out. You can actually get in there with a garden hose easy, spray it all out, and it prevents this rust in the future. So we'll see. I mean, I do want it to be factory original. Yeah, like this right here. That's the little, so they have, it's full of junk all the time. Anyways, set the camera up and enjoy my supper. Round 2. All right, let's get under this thing. So overall, I'm actually very happy. There's a couple of little, things we gotta fix up, but that's a decent little repair. It needs all seam sealed and welded, of course. I put this little patch in. Now what I did is I actually left a slit open in it. The metal's still good there, but this little bit of the rocker, it looked pretty crusty, and I don't know, like I worry, trim like this, I always feel holds junk on the outside, holds junk on the inside, so I want to make sure I can get in there. So I actually drilled a couple of holes in the back there. That's all. I could plug that up, but I'm actually going to put a big drill bit in there. I want to make sure I can really get in here and hose this all down. I think this is an original rocker, just based on how it is installed. You know what I mean? Like that's all factory, but obviously it's had filler on it during the paint process when it had, when it was repainted. So, that's 60 some years old. I want to make sure I can absolutely douse that with some sort of oil or whatever and get in there kind of proper every now and again and hose it out. Down here, all worked out pretty good. I don't know, I guess I could have replaced that little piece. Might be a little bit of laziness, but that's all in there, gets it all lined up. And yeah, back here, there you are. This just kind of folded up and everything was good. It needs some grinding and stuff, but overall I'm very happy with it. She's sturdy, there's no real issues. Now, I am gonna go to the other side. How do I turn this off so I don't blind myself? Oh, it's a button. I'm gonna do the other side real quick. It's not nearly as bad. There's just one little section in a rocker needs to be taken care of, and but their factory rocker is just sitting there with those, like that rivety kind of deal. Zip that off, crank it up, weld it, and just be a little section of rocker repair. So I'm gonna do that while I'm in this zone of suck. Then I have to repair, this is all kind of nitpicky, but it's a little rotten in there. So what I want to do is I'm just going to take a piece of steel, put a 90 in it, kind of cut that over, or I might just grind this down, to be honest with you, and put lap it on top and then just weld it all in, just so it gives the floor a little sturdiness. This is all going to be covered with carpet, and then the rocker or the sill plate, you're never ever going to see it in a million years, but while we're here, we might as well do that. A lot of guys wouldn't, but here at DD Speed Shop, where we really care about it, no, no, I don't know. I'm just kind of in the mood. So we're gonna do that. I think the other side needs it as well. Maybe not as bad or worse. One or the other. People are making fun of me, and it's funny because that ratty 57 working on the other shop, it got a full floor pan in it. Meanwhile, the actual nice car, we're patching. And ultimately, the patches, once we grind it all down and all that, it'll be just like a factory floor pan. A lot more work. And I've said it before, I'm going to keep saying it. The floor pan is a lot of work to put in, but once you're installing it, it's pretty easy. But the front clip would have to come off, motor trans would have to come out, all that. Then we have to jack the front of the car up, so you got to crank it like this, put the floor pan in and do all that. I don't have a 2-post lift to do it any other way. And I just worry that the fitment's never gonna be the same. Everything is so original in this car. I like it. I don't want, you know, the glass is in it. It weighs a lot more. Usually when I'm doing it, the car is stripped right out. Obviously, when you do this to the car, you're bending back here, which on most stuff, I don't care because I'm fixing it after or whatever. In this case, it's so nice, I just didn't want to mess with it. So we just happen to be catching up. That is the plan. I'm gonna go on the other side real quick. We'll charge the batteries, and well, next time you see me, we'll be over here screwing around. Then I can finish painting all this. Good news, bad news. The other side we got taken care of. The back floor is a little bit worse, but the sill is nicer, so it is what it is. What I'm gonna do, I'll set the camera up, but I'm gonna probably cut this piece out. For now, we'll reuse it maybe. And then I'm just gonna get the big grinding stone and clean up in here real good. Then I'm gonna take a piece of steel, we'll put it in the brake, we'll bend it, just do a 90, and then we'll just be able to kind of weld it in there, just right on top, and then we can punch some holes in it and weld it to the floor. So it'll be double wall, and yeah, it'll be a little thicker here, but you're never gonna see it, and it'll be all, you know, good clean metal. So we shouldn't really have any issues, and then whatever I do here, I'll probably drill some holes in it, and we'll just put this flapper right back on. They've been glued shut, but I guess that's how you get in there. I don't know what the plan is. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Then we got to drop the car down, and we'll start kind of working in the back there a little bit. It's going to be crappy. Back of the car sucks, but let's get the fun stuff done first, right? Fun stuff. Look at that. It's almost like someone knows what they're doing. It's actually turned out pretty nice. I was looking at the other side. She's kind of grotty. We should probably do that repair on the other side as well. While we're at it, what's another hour of screwing around? Yeah. I don't know. At least one little section of it. Anyway, so now what we're gonna do, so you can see, that's the hole. Now the brace runs somewhere kind of like this-ish, I guess. But the frame rail is about here, and it's rotten up to the frame rail. So we have to take the seat mount out, which it's got a bunch of spot welds in it. What I'll probably do is just zip it and pop it out, and then I just weld it back into where it was. I think it'll probably be the easiest. Once that's out, then we can just kind of follow where that brace goes, which is this brace right here. See where it goes. This is all just flat steel. Get the brace in, flat steel cap it. You'll have to do a little bit of a bend there where it curves down, but nothing too crazy. It's solid-ish. Yeah, the corner here's a little grotty, but as long as it's got, like, there's no weight or anything on it. It's just kind of holding the tying everything together. The brace is the big thing. Get the floor in there, weld it in. No one's ever gonna see it, and if you do, feel free to point it out at a car show if you see me there, which I probably won't go anyways. So let's get some of this junk cleared out of here, and yeah, see what we can accomplish. There's two ways I could have done it. It's either this, or I get out there, try and drill out all the spot welds, take the whole brace out, replace the whole brace, and then I'm working just in the corner trying to get a patch panel done, which I think would be a nightmare to try and get in there with this there anyways. How are you going to get a grinder in there? So this piece is probably coming out no matter what, so we'll just do that. And ultimately that's what we did up here. Put the brace in from the top and then plate it on top, and I'm quite happy with it. I gotta say, I think it's a good repair. Once you get underneath the car, it needs, all the welds need to be ground real quick, ground seam sealed, but it'll be like mint-ish. Just clear it out. You'll see me slicing. Oof, this here, she's an ugly job, but we got the brace cut back to where it's very solid. I'm happy with that. I left this little section of flooring, whether I use it or not, I don't know, but fold that back down, box it in, and we got to make this little kind of loop-de-loop kind of deal and weld it somewhere back there, which is pretty soft. But I think I'm going to try and build a little piece of steel that'll go in there. I don't think it'll be quite the factory look. Actually, we might have some pieces on this. This little end bit is exactly what we need. Nice. Okay, so this was free, so I can't go wrong. I'm gonna cut a little section out. We'll see if we can put that in, and we'll probably have to bend that up, give it a bit of a curve, weld it all in, probably from underneath or on top. We'll see, it doesn't really matter. Then I have that big brace, I gotta cut it up so we can get it in there. But if I get this section done, the brace in, weld it to the inner rocker, and it's just a patch on top. This here, I mean, I don't know, I could have screwed around a bunch more, but I feel like we'll just line it back up where it was, weld her in, be perfect. And I don't think those seats are precision fit anyways, they're just kind of close. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick measurement, see what I can get. But yeah, so we're gonna end up having kind of that section right there, mint. Okay, so I moved ahead simply because when I have my above average size body crammed around here, you ain't seeing nothing from behind. So we got this attach panel in. I think it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. I then have this brace in. I just tacked it on there, but you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to weld the inside of it the whole way around, and then I actually could clean it from the outside, but you know what? Do it from the inside. I'm then going to fold this back over. We're going to plate it, weld it in, like, you know, with our little opening's going to be with some sheet metal. Then, when that's done, I'm going to move it. I'm just going to do this little section right here, like I did on the other side. Clean that up real quick, weld that in, and then we'll give it a quick paint job, and we'll do the other side tomorrow. So, let's get after it. All right, so we got this piece in. It looks all right. Gonna be painted black. We got everything all taken care of back there. There's some ugly welds, but it's all sorted. I haven't ground it yet. I'll kind of get in there and do my thing a little bit. But I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for tonight. It's actually day job Christmas party, so we gotta go with that. And yeah, I gotta get some seam sealer tomorrow, because I do want to seam seal just the front of the pan to the toe boards there, both those, just in the corners a little bit, and then I think that's kind of about all. Everything else is pretty decent. I'm gonna dose those with some oil at some point, get all that there, repaint it black, and then I do have the carpet kit. I'd like to just kind of throw that in there, see what it looks like. We probably got to remount the back seat, because that should be able to go in now permanently, and then I guess we gotta make the front seat fit at some point. Whether that's tomorrow or not, I'm not really too sure. But we're making progress, lots of it. I need a shower. I'll see you guys tomorrow. New day, more of the same. We're gonna finish it off. So I jumped ahead, got home from work. I cut a little slit out. This side is funny. So the floor is actually in much better shape, but the brace is much worse. So you can see there. So right where that hole is, that's where the top of the frame is, which is kind of funny. That's where the drain hole is on the frame. Smart, guys. But back here, it's, you know, I just kind of jam with a screwdriver, but it's all sturdy. And right about here is where a body mount is. So I think what I'm going to do is, this is the brace, I'm going to cut it right at the body mount and weld right to it. The bolt I can see in there is still like, it's in good shape, like there's still threads are all mint, so I'll spray a bunch of lube in it. And yeah, I think I'll set the camera up so you can kind of see I did a couple of location cuts. So if we go on the other side, that's on the outside of the brace, sorry. So if I go out, kind of around, whatever I want to do till I can get in there and cut that up. And then once the brace goes in, we'll just have to, you know, put a little plate in, and I'll just need a little section in there, which after finding that little free piece right there was a lifesaver. I can get that in, buzzer, and yeah, give it a quick little rust converter. Yeah, a little metal in a can. Do that. I already took the seat brace out. We'll put that back in, weld it back up. Then I'm gonna paint everything black. I got a little bit of like texture kind of spray, so I'm gonna do that and paint it black just so it's got some, I don't know, a little of that rust kill in it and all that, which should be fine. Let that dry, have dinner. Danny's making tacos. Oh, look at this. And 50s, anything is cool. What's it from? I don't know. Danny's Christmas present right there. Eat tacos till I'm sick, come back out. By that time, everything should be dry. Carpet in, get the back seat in. I do have some back seat repair to do, but I got some like wood epoxy, so I'm thinking we can do that. Jam that sucker in there. And then I'll put the front seat back in. Maybe Danny can come out. I'm gonna have some screwing around to do with the front seat because I do want to push it back and I have to wire it. And there's a little bit of screwing around to do, but we'll get it all figured out. We're experts here at BD Hack Shop. Okay, set the camera up over there. Hopefully I'm not going up and down too much. You guys can watch what I'm doing. Should be pretty straightforward. Looking back, so the car went up and down like 50 times. I should have moved over there. See the action, I just turned it off. We got the one patch in, got the brace dialed. So now everything can be done from the top. So we'll weld in the brace. I hosed everything down with oil and some rust converter. I'll probably clean this cut up just a little bit. Put a piece of flat steel on it. Whoop, weld her in. Put that piece back on and go from there. Overall, pretty good. There's just a little bit of light coming through there at the wheel well, but we'll just go ahead and fix that with seam sealer. A little bit of grinding. Put that together, clean everything out. We'll grind that, we'll grind that. We'll come back, seam seal, paint, let it sit for tacos. Tacos are important. Oh, this is very time consuming. I will say, maybe I should have put a pan in it. No, this is the right decision. And then we'll be like, pretty good. The only thing we didn't touch though was this back pan in the tunnel, but this is very cheap. Ugh, the amount of welding. So, see the patch on this one's different than that one just because of the way the repair was, but everything is now seam sealed up. I'm happy with it. Give it a quick vacuum. Good enough. We're gonna shoot with some black and then let that sit up for an hour while I go have some tacos. And then I think we should be able to build the carpet in, back seat in, and maybe just lug the front seat and kind of dump it in there just so it kind of looks cool. That'd be sweet. Take all this kind of paper down. We're done the welding. Man, I tell you, again, so this was the cost-effective way of doing it. So if you're trying to pinch pennies, by all means do it. If you're trying to do it fast, I don't know how many hours I got in this, but 40 maybe of we got what, 3 videos. I'd say, yeah, video probably is 15-ish hours, if not more, of work. So there's a lot of hours in this. Now I did try and do it nicely and stuff, so it's not just like a patch job. I could have patched it and just, you know, goobered it in there. And people say what you will, but in my mind, this is a pretty solid repair, and I'm very happy with it. And you know, pound the old back there, right? So we'll I still got to get under it and sand and seam seal and all that, but that will be for another day. So when you see it next, it'll all be one color all taken care of, and we'll be tossing that carpet in. Huh? Huh? That's a pretty good repair. Come on. It's basically a brand new pan. I spray a little texture spray on there, a little top coat, so it should be ready to go. Pulled all the masking tape down. We're gonna put the back seat in, but I need some hardware. I thought it was just wood screws, but it turns out it's like 1/4-inch bolts, but they're tapered end Phillips head. So we'll have to figure something out tomorrow, but it's like 10 o'clock at night, so guess what? Nothing's open. Deal with that tomorrow. In the meantime, though, the shop's disaster. Disaster. But I'm gonna, instead of cleaning up, I'm gonna open up that box. We'll just toss the carpet in here, kind of let it lay and do its thing, and you know, relax, I guess, a little bit. And I guess we can, you know, put the wiring back where it has to be, but let's do that. Tomorrow we can put the back seat in, and then put this wire back where it kind of had to be. I'm not going to lock anything down just yet because I want to go through and, you know, check all the, you know, the connections and stuff like that, make sure everything kind of works, which for the most part it does, like all the lights and all that were working. But yeah, I think we got away with no damage. I think so anyways. So that's good. I mean, you know, a good cleaning in there. I went with dark brown carpet, so we'll see how that matches. I am you know, I was thinking about just putting black in there, but I'm like, I really like Danny's car. We put blue carpet in, it looks so sweet. But I also know I wear greasy boots and I will trash it. So we'll try the brown, see how it looks, take the gamble for a few $100s. And that's something nice to lie at the very least. Tomorrow when I put the back seat in, plunk the front seat in, and we'll clean up, kind of do the last little bit of the video, put the wheels and tires back on. Then after that, we can start on the front brakes. And yeah, then we got to do like fuel system, make sure that's good. Yeah, I guess polish it and we're done. What a concept. Buy a car, it's not completely awful. I will say the floors are worse than I've said before, worse than I wanted, better than I expected, right? So I'll bring it back one more time tonight here when the carpet's in, but otherwise I'm just gonna be cleaning up and getting ready for tomorrow. Well, it's the next day. Cleaned up a bunch, and I just kind of tossed the seats in there. But now we have like a rust-free floor pan. Everything's taken care of. I still got to, you know, like I said, work underneath, undercoat, grind, and all that. But that's a future Dan problem because present Dan has had enough of being under this hot rod. But I mean, at this point now, if you would have bought this, you know, it would have been worth the $2,700. But there we go. I mean, the carpet matches-ish to the door panels. It's a little darker. The options were that kind of brown or like a beigey color. I mean, I don't know. This is all custom interior. What are you going to do? I didn't want to go with like a lighter color. It might have matched the seats better, but I am hard on gear. So brown's the way to go. A couple of formats in there. The seats obviously are too far forward. We got to adjust that. But yeah, we got everything in there. this will flip forward, so I'll probably do is flip that forward, flip that down, flip the back seat on top of it, then we can kind of work in there. But we're roughly centered. I do have it kind of going under the back seat, so that's good. We have, you know, some extra material on the sill plate, and I believe it should be close-ish on this side. Oh yeah, we got lots. I did nick a couple of these wires with the zip cut, so that's why they're out. So I remind myself to you know, go through and maybe fix those ahead of time. But yeah, I think we're done with the bodywork stuff and the grinding and the ugliness for a little bit. I've had enough. I do want to clean this thing up, so I'll probably blow it off and wipe it down. And then the next video, we'll do the brakes. The front end brakes, drop it down, and have this thing looking like a proper hot rod. Thanks for sticking around. I know welding up floors and all this. Good God, does this car look good? Oh, I friggin' love it. So, like I was saying, it was tough to do. I'm sure it wasn't the best to watch. I do appreciate that. But it's a little bit of a how-to or how not to do. You know, if you got the money or whatever it is, put a full floor pan in. If you were paying someone to do this, for sure your buck's up to pay someone to put a full pan in versus all this cobbling. But this is the kind of repair, and I hear it in the comments all the time, you guys would have done in high school or early on in life. And you know, when money's tight but labor is cheap because it's your own, this is good repair. And ultimately, I'm happy with it. So thank you so much for watching. As always, if you bought a shirt, I do appreciate you guys leaving a comment below. We're actually going to work on doing a Christmas giveaway right away here with possibly some stuff. So maybe go check out the Facebook page. That's where we're going to do it. So I'd suggest just, you know, TD Speech up on the old Facebook and follow along on there. We got something coming up in the next couple days. Hopefully Danny's diligently working on it. I'm paying her top dollar for maximum output, and we're doing pretty good. So thanks for watching. Subscribe below, leave a comment, all those good things. And we'll be back shortly, and this thing will be looking cool.